Hello everyone, it is I, Chef Nisa. I am here with a quick little tutorial of, actually you guys are going to just be on a journey with me along. This morning we were watching some videos about buttermilk biscuits and I was like, I am want to make some buttermilk biscuits. So, I have all my ingredients here and I'm going to show you real quick. Make sure you have your measuring utensils. I have half a cup of extra flour. I have 3 cups of flour. All-purpose flour. We're gonna make a self-rising flour, so don't worry about that if you don't have it. We have a tablespoon of white granulated sugar, some honey, some baking powder, which is very, very necessary if you don't have self-rising flour. We have some salt, kosher, some buttermilk, about 16 ounces, but you might not need it all. And we have here our teaspoon, tablespoon, because we will be using it as far as measuring a few things. So also we have a biscuit cutter. You don't have to use a biscuit cutter. You can use a cup if you want to. You can use anything circular, or you can just cut them in squares. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. This one has, one side is a rigid and the other side is just smooth. We have here our old-fashioned sifter. You can use a regular sifter, a bowl to mix, rolling pin to roll, a big measuring cup, and some butter here. With this butter, you're going to grate it down into the flour and mix all the things together. It's going to be great. So stay tuned. We have here our flour, and we're going to go ahead and just literally take our flour, put it in here. We have our baking soda. So it's called... Okay, y'all. So as you can see, I have my baking powder. And I was talking, not realizing I only put 2.5 teaspoons. What you're going to need is 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. As you can see, I flashed up there on the screen, 1.5 teaspoons to 1 cup of flour. This one, I usually use Caliber Girl. I think that's mostly the only one that is available. You can always get, let me do the half of this. The store brand, that's cool too. But I think everyone has the little flap that you take it and you scrape it right on the flap. That keeps a good measure of it. Okay. As far as salt, we're going to do the same with salt. Okay. And we're going to just do a teaspoon of salt. Okay, put that in there. I have sugar because I just want a little bit of a sweetness to my biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and use 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and sift it right into the sifter all together, because you want everything to be sifted. Now, if you don't have a sifter, you don't have to use a sifter. What you can do is just whisk this all together in one, and then just add your butter. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and sift it. Okay. So I'm just scooping out the flour and okay. Just to make them smooth and a nice little, you want it to be a nice smooth finish. Alright, let's see. Should be able to just go ahead and sift it out a little bit. Let's see. Alright. Now, if you are using kosher salt, like I'm using kosher salt, most likely the kosher salt will be at the end. So if you hear that little bit of grindiness, it might be the kosher salt, okay? And that's okay. Yeah, look, it's most likely the kosher salt at the bottom. And that's okay. You just want it to be nice and mixed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grate the butter. Alright guys, I am back. So what I did was I took the butter and I chopped it down. Now, the ideal way to do this is to have ice cold butter, and you have a cheese grater, and you grate it down with a cheese grater. That makes a perfect texture. What you can also do is dice it. That's a great way to do it. Just you don't want chunky butter because you want the butter to incorporate really nicely with the flour. So I don't have a cheese grater because I have a food processor and I use the attachment for that. So I just never bought a cheese grater. So what I did was I just chopped it down in small cubes, and that's another way to do it. So let's go ahead and just mix it up with our hands. As you can see, I took my ring off, and I'm just gonna literally just mix it up with my hands. And 1 stick of butter. You want all your ingredients ice cold. So that includes the butter, that includes the buttermilk. I have the buttermilk sitting here, but it's been in the refrigerator. You want it to be ice cold as well. Anytime you're doing like even like pie crust. Pie crust is ice cold water. You know what I'm saying? Ice cold butter. It's kind of the same thing, but with this, you're going to use baking powder. Baking powder, guys. Some people put baking powder and baking soda. Some people use shortening and butter. I just have a nice simple ingredients to this here biscuits. So, all right, guys, we have here. It's kind of like a kind of grainy, but not too much. I have also preheated my oven to 475, and I also want to tell you that I haven't told you at the beginning was you can use any pan you want, just make sure it's greased. But I've always used a cast iron skillet just because I feel like a cast iron skillet is it just says homemade, doesn't it? All right, so enough of playing with that. You can continue to use your hands if you would like. I am not. Because now we're going to add our wet ingredients. And our wet ingredients involves just buttermilk. Just buttermilk, guys. And I'm going to use a wooden spoon. And I'm going to do 8 ounces of buttermilk. But it's kind of like, you know, like your grandma does. You know, you can put 8 ounces of buttermilk. But if it feels like it needs more, you add more. So right now we're just going to go ahead and add the buttermilk. Buttermilk's very thick. It's very, very thick. So just go ahead and just mix it around. And you don't want to overmix it. You don't want to undermix it. Because if you undermix it, then it'll taste like raw flour. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up. See what it's doing. As you can see, I think it's going to definitely need more. Okay. So just add a couple ounces at a time. Okay. We're going to add about 4 more. Okay. All right, get all that goodness out there. 4 more. All right. So the great part about this is you can make it your own. You can add more butter. You can add less butter. You just have to have a really great recipe that will stick and stay. You don't want to have biscuit chips. You don't want to have biscuit bricks. But you can make it your own. You can add a little rosemary, fresh rosemary, especially like in the summertime when you're growing herbs, and rosemary grows like weeds. So if you want to add a little rosemary in there, you can add some fresh rosemary. You can add thyme. You can add anything, basil, parsley. You can even go as far as putting a little lemon in there, a little cheese, like a cheese biscuit. Okay, I think it's at a nice place where we can go ahead and lay it on the table. So now, as you can see, I have the flour that I had earlier. We're just going to go ahead and lay it down on the table. The extra flour. Spread it out. Make sure your table's nice and clean. And we're just going to go ahead and lay it out, y'all. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 down, 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 down. Y'all see it? Let's get it done. And as you can see, it's coming together really nice. You want it to be a nice, you see how it's coming together? It's flaky, but it's solid at the same time. That's really, really good. So even now, you can use a rolling pin. You want to keep it layered and flaky. So what you do is you'll push it out with a rolling pin or your hands. I have a rolling pin handy, just in case I get tired. So, boom, boom. Right? You see how nice and solid it is? What you're going to do is you're just going to take it, fold it. You want them nice flaky layers. Flaky layers. And you can pair this with some jam, some honey, sausage, gravy. We're going to have some kibasi, maple glazed kibasi. That'll be a nice little addition. All right, fold it one more time. And now it's time to roll out. There's a couple little pieces right here that is escaping me. But like I said, if you want to use some Crisco, you can use some Crisco. Look how nice this looks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm millennial. Blame it on the internet. All right, now. Okay, so we're not going to fold it one more time. We're just going to go ahead and roll it out, friends. Okay? Roll it out. Be very gentle. Okay? I say about a half an inch thick. You can make your biscuits as thick as you want to, but this is going to be a half an inch for me, y'all. Look how nice and flaky it looks. And you're going to go ahead and take your biscuit cutter here, or cookie cutter, and just going to press it down. Okay? Let's see, press it down. Okay, how nice. Look how nice that thing look, y'all. Look at that. Look at them layers. So pretty. And some people will butter these with buttermilk. I've seen people do it with mayonnaise. I've seen people don't do any buttering at all. They just pop them in the oven. I personally will be putting some melted butter on top of these and just a sprinkle full of kosher sauce. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm going ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and layer it in my cast iron skillet. It's going to be so nice. So nice. And I have just amount. Look at that. Just an amount. Uh-oh. My oven's ready, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and butter these and pop them in the oven. And I'll see you guys when they come out. Remember, these are before. Alright, y'all. The biscuits are out. What I did do, though, I rotated the pan. I rotated this way, and then I rotated 50% the other way. And I actually consider 180 the other way. And right here I have some melted butter, unsalted melted butter. I'm not going to do the extra salt. I changed my mind. But I'm just going to go ahead and just butter these biscuits, y'all. They look good. And I'm going to give you guys a close look. I know it's a little noisy. I'm frying up some kibasi that will pair perfectly with these biscuits. And I'm taking over edge, y'all. I'm not only going to butter these biscuits. Matter of fact, let me show you guys how they look. Okay, so I'm not only going to butter these, but I am going to take some honey and I am going to drizzle every biscuit. Now, if you're watching your sugar, you don't need to do no honey, okay? You can do sugar-free jelly. You can do or nothing. Or if you like it savory, you can do it savory. But I just put a little glaze because it's hot. So I want to show you guys how they turned out. All right, guys. I'm gonna show you how it pairs with my kibasi and some cheese eggs, and that will be the final touches. All right, y'all. As you can see over here in this area, I've already started to eat. You see it's a bite mark on it. Anyway, so I want to show you the beautiful, beautiful finishing touches on my keilbasa brown sugar, maple brown sugar keilbasa. That's what I'm calling it. Just made it up this morning. It has some just pancake syrup, brown sugar, and that's it. If you want to add a little spice, you can add a little chipotle, a little chili powder if you want to get fancy. I ain't getting fancy. I'm hungry. So we're going to have 2 teaspoons of butter in the pan. We're going to add the keilbasa, let it fry up, cut it on a bias, slice it how you want to. Don't slice it at all. Just fry it up a little bit. Then you're going to add your half a cup of brown sugar. You're going to add your half a cup of maple syrup. Or, like I said, if you just got pancake syrup in the house, that's okay. And I wanted to add a little color. So I added some scallions to my cheese eggs. And we're just going to go ahead and plate it right here. You just want to eat with your eyes first. So we're just going to go ahead and plate it up like that. And y'all, this is a meal. Now, I'm not eating alone, so don't look at me like I'm greedy, okay? But if I was, I would eat all of this. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Look at that steam. Oh, yes. We can ready to eat. I'm going to go ahead and get a little fork. We don't got no forks, and a little spoon. Oh, yes. Yes. See y'all next time. Remember, guys, to try out the recipe for the maple brown sugar keilbasa. And as you see, we have here eggs with onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and green onions. This turned out to be a nice breakfast tutorial. So don't forget, when you do the biscuits, to put 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. See you later.